Hi, it's Megan. I recently got as a gift from Lancome as part of, gift with purchase thing. This is not just a gift. The Lancome Color Design bronze. And I thought this was going to be a full-size palette, but it's actually not. It's just a little one. So it doesn't have the regular Lancome little inlay that tells me what these specific shades are for, and then a book with how to do a look. Oh, I shouldn't do that. I should do this, right? But I figured, so I didn't want to do a full video for it. It's been around for a while, but I also figured I should do a video for it where if someone has it and wants to see how I wear it, or if someone's just curious to get a bronze look for the summer, whatever, it would be a fun thing to do. So I'm actually rushing out this morning, but it seemed like a perfect time. Why not? And so we're going to start from nothing, and I'm going to do like a bronze, kind of a smoky eye look, and then I'll talk about the palette too. It is a very shimmery palette, so because it's so shimmery and it's kind of a summer beachy bronzy look, I am going to minimize the shimmer on the rest of my face. So we're going to start with the Guerlain Terracotta Jolie Tint foundation. This is a beautifying foundation with sunscreen sun-kissed healthy glow. So this is one of those foundations that has just a little bit of like, I don't want to say it has a bronzer in it, but it has like that sun-kissed look, so kind of like a bronzer in it. And I'm using the shade Light because I've been meaning to get out in the sun more. I'm in Southern California. I grew up mostly in California, though not all in California. And I know it's bad, but I do spend a little bit of time in the sun in the summer. So I forgot my foundation brush in the other room, but that's okay. I can do it without. But usually I would use a foundation brush. Since this is a full foundation, so anyway, what I was saying is I haven't spent as much time out in the sun. God, I get distracted. I'm using the color Light, which I think is a little bit more pink based than the next color, Natural, which is a little bit more kind of yellow like my skin tone, but it's also a little tiny bit darker, so I still feel kind of pale, so I'm using this. I'm using also a cream. I'm mixing it in because this is a foundation. It's Sunday morning. I don't really want a full foundation look. I would rather be using a BB cream or some such thing, but I just think this is the foundation I want to use. And I'm using a heavier, so I want to water it down with the moisturizer. I'm using a heavier moisturizer than I would normally use just because this foundation's a little dry, and I would usually do a brush. Actually, I'm just going to use my bronzer brush and then I'll just wash it after. It's an old bronzer brush anyway. I didn't put quite enough on. I will actually be washing all of the brushes after this before I go out. My kids are used to me doing crazy stuff like that. I'm taking my son somewhere. I don't know if I said that. Because this is such a glittery array of things, the eye things, that I like to get the glitter out fast. I also like to get super bright colors out fast. So I'm going to put, now this is not watered down foundation because I already have so much moisture on my skin. It's not going to really matter because I put so much of the cream in the first batch. And then obviously you have to make sure that you brush on a little bit, or I have to make sure that I brush on a little bit on my neck as well, because especially, it always works with foundations. I kind of just brush it on lightly. It always works with foundations that I look better if I do that because I tend to put more sunscreen on my face, so my chest is more tan, but my neck, all of us, our neck tends not to get quite as tan, so you get some discoloration. So just dot that on real fast, and I will be going fast through this because this is actually how I really get ready in the morning. Now I'm just going to use a Nars Concealer. And I'm actually going to do this with my little side mirror. Lately, I feel like I have these dark circles, more so than normal. And so, going for that natural kind of weekend look, I have a little bit lighter coverage with the foundation, having mixed it with the moisturizer. But even mixing it, this gives you a pretty medium coverage. Alright, so normally what I do now is I let everything sit for a minute because I have dry skin, so it all soaks in. But since I'm in a hurry, I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to use the Physicians Formula Nude. This is what it looks like, powder. When I did a video on this, I was kind of iffy on it. I thought it was fine. It had a slight shimmer, and I don't always like powders with slight shimmer. They have to be really great to sell me. They have to have a really subtle shimmer. And this one, that was a little bit more shimmery than I liked. Just a tiny bit. There's like that fine line. But I've actually come to really, really like it, especially at the price point. Now I'm going to do an eyeshadow primer. I've started using the Lancome La Base Pro Aquatic in beige porcelain number 2, which I'm not sure if it's waterproof. I'm going to start wearing it to my yoga class. That's the way I check how waterproof things really are, but it might be waterproof. I like it because it makes the makeup last a lot better, but it's not as heavy as some of the eyeshadow primers, which I like that, sort of, but if I don't really want to build up color, some of them, maybe it's because I have dry skin, maybe it's just because of them, it really, when I put the powder on, I get this dark, intense powder, much darker than I want. Now I'm taking just a little brush, a shadow brush, and since this is a cream-based formula, I obviously have to wash that after, and I'm lining my lower eye with the eyeshadow primer base, and then the outer corner, so that my lower eyeshadow wears as well as my upper. Alright, I'm gonna get through this fast. Then I'm going to do, I'm gonna do mostly browns on the eyes, bronzes with a little bit of gold, and very shimmery, so that can be a little harsh and metallic if I just do browns on me. So I'm gonna use the Josie Maran, this is Poppy Argan Color Stick, to put a little color in my cheeks that is not just bronze or brown. And I'm going to do a very neutral. It's like every time I start shooting a video. Okay. Then I'm going to do my bronzers. So, to be careful, because we're going for a bronze beachy look thing. So, I'm going to do, this is from the Too Faced The Bronze and the Beautiful. This was last summer's edition of bronzers. You can tell I haven't used it that much. But I'm going to use my blush brush, and I'm going to use Chocolate Soleil because it's a matte. And so I am not going to go for a lot of face shading today. Instead, I'm going to use it also as a blush. And by using a cream blush first, it's going to soak in a little bit better. I actually want to use my little side mirror here as well. And give me more of like that sun look. Now we're going to go on to the eye. So the first thing I'm going to grab, I hate having to look down all the time. The first thing I'm going to grab is one of my like must-have products. This is a Smashbox Brow Tech to Go, and there are two sides. One has the little brush, which I use to brush my eyebrows in place. And I stopped plucking my eyebrows about a year, maybe a year and a half ago. I don't have that much to begin with, and they're not really unruly. So and occasionally I'll use the other side, which has the little color thing, but mostly I actually don't. Mostly I just use the brush. But this will even out my brows a little bit and give you a little bit more definition. So sometimes I use both sides, sometimes I use just one. Now we're going to get to the eyeshadow. So, get through this fast because my son is bugging me. I had to turn off the video because he was asking when we're leaving. I'm going to start with just a shadow brush. And so the way these Lancome works, this is right here, the base kind of thing. This shade is always the eyelid. Then this right here is always the crease. This is always the highlight, which this particular highlight's it's a very vivid gold, it's hard to use, and then this is the liner. So the first shade is like a peachy, warm, very light shimmer. So this I'm going to put right in there. You can see already, or I can see how shimmery this is. And then I'm just going to use a regular shadow brush. This is actually a little bit harder than most, but I like the precision of it. And then I'll put this on the lid real fast. And because it's so precise and a little bit harder, I can actually use it for crease shades, which means I can get ready a lot faster. Okay, the crease shade is going to go right in there. So the second shade was a darker classic gold. It's got a little, it's a warm undertone. Somehow it's a little orange-ish. When the light shifts on it, it's almost got a little orange undertone. And then the middle shade, the crease, is a beautiful, cooler toned bronze. So I'm going to put the crease, so you can see mostly it's a warm palette, but it's not super, well, I guess it is super warm. And I actually prefer using this crease shade. Now I'm only putting it in the crease, I only put it about halfway and then blend it out, and then what I'll do is I'll blend it under the eye like this. But you can put it in the outer corner here to darken and create more of a, actually let's do that. Let's make more of a little bit of a smoky eye here. I did say something about a smoky eye at the beginning. So this is a light color. It's not going to get quite as smoky as if we use the darker. Actually, that's a more fun way to do it. Let's do that. So I'm lining it very softly, and then I'm going to take a little bit of this dark color and I'm going to put that in the outer corner and blend it in just to get a little bit more of the smoky look. And I'm going to put that a little bit here as well. So what I've done is I've done the crease shade. I'm going to take that in a little bit more, and I'll blend in a minute. I've done the crease shade in the crease first, and then now I'm taking it in all the way, but very softly, because I like having a graduation of color. I don't like having really hard lines because it just looks like too much on me. And then I took the crease and softly lined the eye, and then I took the liner and did the outer corner, and I'll show you that color in a minute. And then I also dotted that right here and into the crease a little bit. So mixing the colors a little bit together to get a little bit of a darker. And this color is the least, it's more metallic, less sparkly, but it's a darker version, like a dark bronze, but a cooler tone bronze. It doesn't have like the red undertones, it has just a brown undertone. Now I'm going to blend. And I decided I was going to actually really line. So I've got a Tarte bronze eye pencil, and it's a little bit warmer toned than the liner. And so I'm just going to line really close. And normally in the daytime I might not put this much on. My son's in the background shouting, "Mom, Mom," something about his video game. Which is better than him complaining that I'm taking too long. So I'm lining that with the Tarte pencil, and then I'm taking a little smoky eye brush and blending in some of the liner. And so what I did is I lined just very close to the lashes, and then on me I look really bad with a hard line of a dark color all the way around, so I just took it right here into the corner a little bit, and I'm gonna have to blend in a minute because everything's too dark. But by mixing in the pencil and the powder, I get a softer line. So right there you can see what I've done. Actually, it doesn't need to blend that much on camera. Off camera it's a little bright. And then I'm going to do my mascara, which I'm using the Lorac Cobra mascara. Actually, let's blend just a tiny bit first. So I'm going to take my blush brush, actually. I have a blending brush, but I want to use the blush brush because I want a bigger, softer blend. Just to soften it up like this. Do the mascara. And then after I do the mascara, I want to do the highlight color. because I want to see how this looks first and how much highlight I want. So what I do is I do the tips I do the bottom lashes first, and I do the tips, and then I do the full lash. Sometimes I let it dry first before I do the full lash, but I'm not going to do that today. Okay, now I'm actually going to do the lips, and then when I'm all done with everything else, I go back and I kind of finish up what I'm doing with the eyes, if that makes sense, because I want to see the whole look first and see what the eyes need. So I'm using a Lancome Lip Lover Dewy Color. It's like a gloss in casee-noisette. And the reason I'm wearing this one is, first of all, it has no shimmer in it. It's like a nice, almost it's like peach undertone to the nude. I will do a video for this in another color that I got in this line. I can't decide if this particular color is blotchy, so I want to try it for a couple more days. But it's a perfect color if you don't want to look overdone and you have this kind of bronze eye thing going on. Alright, now I'm going to perfect the eye. Does it look blotchy? Not really. So sticking with the peach, and now I want to perfect the eye. So we're going back to the eyeshadow palette real quick. Actually, let's do that. Let's use, I have these tiny little brushes that I use when I want to finish off the eye look. So first I'm going to take the highlight. The highlight is this really sparkly, somewhat semi-sheer gold. It's similar to the base color, but it's lighter and it's a little bit more classic gold as opposed to the other one having a little bit of a peach undertone to it. And I'm going to put this right in the inner corner like this. On me, this is a trick that really does open up my eyes a lot. Makes them look bigger even though they're big. But I have to be really careful because it looks super fake and artificial if I put too much. Then I look like I've just got a glitter bomb going on there. So that's why I use this tiny little brush. And then the other thing is I'm looking at it. And what I could do is I could take a highlight. In fact, let's do it. I normally wouldn't do this in the daytime, but take the highlight and just dot it on right here really lightly and then blend. What I don't like is I don't like my corner with my liner, so I'm going to take a small little brush and get that perfect because I have watery eyes, so it tends to fade away right there. Blend that, and then also go right in here. And then with the rest of my eyes, go back with the little shimmer, highlight and blend that in to the liner, blend, and there we go. And it's a little dark for daytime, so I'll probably blend it out a little bit before I go out. The last thing I'm going to do is perfume. I am obsessed these days with the Replica Beach Walk, but it's $125. For the full bottle, which is a cologne and not a perfume, and it's big, it's 3.5 ounces, but it's still expensive, so I haven't bought it. I just go back to Sephora and get these samples. Sun-Kissed Salty Skin, and they say it has notes of ylang-ylang, bergamot, and pink peppercorn, the fragrance of the beach, and salt sprayed skin a summer's day. So since we've got the whole kind of shimmery, beachy sun thing, and I also think I need a little bit more bronzer. Put some of that on. If you've made it this long, congratulations. I don't know if I would have. Still a little bit. There we go. That's my look for the day. Like it or don't like it. Comments are welcome. Thoughts, suggestions. This will be my video on this particular eye palette. And I think that's it. Thanks.